Hey, my name is Bill Ferriter, and if we haven't met before, I am a career classroom teacher, I am an author, and I'm a professional development provider with expertise in how do you facilitate the work of collaborative teams. And one of the things that I deeply believe in is that to facilitate the work of collaborative teams, we really ought to be providing every single team with a graphic that describes the steps that they take to complete a cycle of inquiry. The reason that's so important to me is because sometimes when I was on a collaborative team early in my work, I didn't really know what I was supposed to do while I was in those meetings with each other. So we would end up wasting our collaborative time. We would end up achieving no real results for students. And then we'd begin to doubt whether or not collaboration was worthwhile. The fact of the matter is that nothing produces better learning results for students than a motivated team of teachers that understands how to study their practice together. Here's the hitch. We have to be doing that work well. When we say understands how to study practice together, there's a series of steps that we go through in order to systematically study our practice and to produce results for kids. So I'm a big believer in we have to provide a graphic for every single team so that they understand what those steps are and can keep track of which steps have we done and what do we need to do next. Like in my thinking, this graphic or a graphic that describes the right work of teams ought to be sitting laminated on the table in front of every member of a collaborative team during a meeting. In my thinking, every single meeting should start with, here's the essential action that we're working on today. Here's what we got done during the last meeting, and here's what we need to be doing with each other during this meeting. Now, the graphic that I've sort of gotten to the point where I believe in the most is on your screen right now. I'll make sure that I link it in the session description down below this video. But it describes to me the steps that you would take if you were answering each of the 4 critical questions of the learning. You see those, right? The black and gray bars are the 4 critical questions of learning in the PLC at Work process. Those are the questions that we answer, question by question, unit by unit, topic by topic, or theme by theme through our curriculum. And underneath that are the actual steps that teams would take if they were answering those questions correctly. Now, I've always thought that this graphic was enough. I thought it really did a nice job emphasizing the right steps in a cycle of inquiry. However, I was sharing with a district one time and they said, Bill, we love it. Now we know what the steps are, but we don't know what each individual step means. And that really hit home to me, right? Like it makes a lot of sense. If you're a team that's new to collaboration, you certainly can see that step 1.2 is let's gain shared clarity on our essentials, but what the heck does that even mean and why do we do it? So that's why I've created this toolkit for you. Let me show you how it works. When you landed here, you landed on this very first slide that had a video for you to watch. That's the video you're currently watching. It's just me introducing the toolkit. The second page of the doc is the cycle of learning, right? That's the actual graphic I was showing you. Now, when you put that into slideshow mode, right, what happens is each of these individual steps are now hyperlinked. So if I want to know more about gaining shared clarity, I can actually click on that. And it will take you to a slide that will describe, here's what gaining shared clarity means, and here's how we as a team gain shared clarity. See, that knowledge building I think is important, isn't it? By the way, bonus for you, if I have any individual resources from my work that I think support teams as they try to complete this step, you'll see a little blue button, resources for this action. And when you click on that, it will take you to a set of resources that you can use to complete that individual action. Sometimes those resources are tools or protocols. Sometimes they're videos just like this one, describing how you pull something off or why it matters in action. After you've learned all that you need to learn about this particular essential action, you can click Return to Cycle. Takes you right back to the main graphic. So in my thinking, a collaborative team meeting would start with, hey guys, listen, today we're working on step 2.1, we've got to align our assessment with grade level expectations. Let's see what that means. And we would click on that particular link. It would give us a description. We could review that together, and now our team has the knowledge that we need in order to make our weekly meeting productive. Okay, now if you're interested in, well, what resources do you use to support that action? Well, you go down here and you click on the blue button, and there's some resources that you can experiment. That's what I mean when I say a toolkit. Let's pair together both the steps that teams would take when they're trying to complete an essential action with a description of what those steps entail, and then last but not least, some resources that may help support teams as they complete that essential action. Does that make sense to you? Listen, I hope this resource seems useful to you. Can't wait to see how you use it. Please feel free to reach out. My contact information is on the very last slide of the toolkit that you found. Reach out. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you need any changes or revisions. I'm always trying to improve this, right? Like, I want to help teams do a better job at producing results for kids. And so if you can think of a change that I might make in order to make this more useful to you or your team, I'd love to hear it.